Hey folks, Tommy the Butcher for Wise Guys BBQ. Today it's chicken parmesan. It's not your typical classic chicken parmesan. It's done Wise Guys BBQ style. We've thrown in a couple of surprises. You're gonna be interested to see how we pull this one off. So before we get started, if you like the video, please 2 thumbs up, hit that like button, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you do not miss an episode. Stick around, we're gonna be doing this together. You're gonna love it. All right, so your typical chicken parmesan has a like an egg wash, breading, flour procedure to begin with when we're doing a fried version of chicken parmesan. But we're gonna be building a marinade, and that marinade is gonna act as our binding agent. And what I thought we would do here, we're gonna actually put together an Alabama white sauce for you. Now, what an Alabama white sauce is, it's a mayonnaise-based barbecue sauce, and it was originated in Decatur, Alabama by Big Bob Gibson, who owns Big Bob Gibson's Barbecue. So we're gonna use this Alabama white sauce for our binding agent. So we're gonna start with our main ingredient, and that's 1 cup mayonnaise. Next in will be a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. This is basically 1 lemon cut in half and squeezed. 1 tablespoon of a prepared horseradish. Next, we're gonna put in our dry ingredients. I got 1 tablespoon of a coarse ground black pepper. We're using a 16 mesh ground black pepper, but any coarse ground salad pepper will work just fine. And we're gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. And finally, a 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. So we'll get all those ingredients together, we'll give it a whisk. This is a great accompaniment to chicken. I mean, chicken with a white Alabama barbecue sauce. If you haven't tried it, you gotta give this a shot. This works well as, you know, a basting marinade. It works well as a dipping sauce, as well as just using it as a barbecue sauce when doing chicken. It really complements chicken tremendously. Now, at times this can be a little thick. If you need to thin this out, add a little chicken stock or a little bit of water. I'm looking for a specific consistency. That was a little bit too thick. But just something that'll coat the back of a spoon is what you're looking for. One other ingredient is 1 teaspoon of honey. I'm just gonna eyeball this. I'm not gonna measure it out. Get that all mixed in well, incorporated. And there it is, our Alabama white sauce. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get our chicken breasts ready. I have 2 boneless chicken breasts. They are about 16 ounces a piece. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean them up a little bit. And we're gonna like split them in half so they're a little bit thinner. They're pretty thick the way they are. So we'll just come in here, clean up some of this fat and tissue on the sides. I'm gonna take that little tip off at the end because it's quite thin. There's 2 sides of this breast. This is the outside, the shiny, clean surface. And this back part is the inner part of the breast. We wanna put it on the shiny outside part of the breast first. And starting at the thick end, with your hand flat, the knife is gonna be parallel to the table, your cutting surface. You're just gonna go straight across. Go very slowly, no need to rush this. And there we have 2. Just keep that knife parallel and you'll have a nice even cut. So now we have our 4 chicken breasts ready to go. And what we're gonna do next, we're gonna get this marinade and we're gonna get it into our Alabama white sauce. So I'm gonna pour this off into a bowl. We're gonna take the chicken breasts and we're just gonna coat them into our Alabama white sauce and get it nice and coated on all sides. All right, so like I said before earlier, what this is gonna do, this marinade, it's gonna act as our binding agent when we go to bread it with the breadcrumbs. We're not doing that typical egg wash, flour, back to the egg wash, back to the breadcrumbs. This is gonna be a much easier, simple process. And like I said, this is gonna be marinating for about 30 to 60 minutes before we actually do our cook. If you don't wanna use an Alabama white sauce, by all means, an Italian dressing, an Italian salad dressing will do just fine. But I think this is gonna add tremendous flavor. Not only that, it's gonna give us our Wise Guys BBQ style baked chicken parmesan. Go into the fridge for about 30 minutes to a half hour. All right, so now we're ready to get our chicken cutlets all breaded up. We're gonna remove it from our Alabama white sauce marinade. What I have here is 2 cups of panko breadcrumbs. We're gonna season them up a little bit. We're gonna add about 3/4 of a cup of grated Parmesan cheese and a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. Okay, get all this combined. Before we get these breaded off, we're gonna be cooking chicken Parmesan in a 12-inch cast iron pan. That's what we're gonna take out to our cooker outside. But before we get this breaded, we wanna get this all set up. We're gonna get a little olive oil, maybe 4 or 5 tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom of the pan. Swirl that around to get it evenly coated. This is gonna be what's gonna give a little bit of crunch to our chicken parm, seeing as we're not doing a frying method. Now you wanna remove as much as you can of the marinade, but you're still gonna leave a little bit on because we need that as a binding agent. All right, get it on there nice. And then we can go directly to the pan with each one of these pieces of chicken. Remove some of that residual marinade. And like I said, we have 2 whole boneless chicken breasts here. That gives us 4 8-ounce cutlets. And I would say that's good for 2 to 4 people. They are about 8 ounces each. So our chicken is in the pan. We're ready to go to the cooker outside. Stick with us in a minute. We'll see you outside. All right, folks, we're outside with our breaded chicken cutlets. We're ready to do the cook. And we're gonna be running them at 425 degrees today. And I want you to meet Olivia. She is our Yoder YS640 smoker grill combination. We're gonna do an indirect cook. This has a diffuser accessory to it with hatch. So we're able to get direct flame grilling. So we have removed one of the hatch doors on our diffuser. As you can see, we have open flames to the left. We're going to do an indirect cooking method on this. So we'll get the pan off to the right. Remove this heat thing. We're going to let this go just like it is for maybe about 15 minutes. Then we're going to come back out. We're going to rotate the pan about 180 degrees so that we can get even cooking. And then at one point before the finish, we're going to move it over to the direct flame. That'll allow us to get a little crispiness on the bottom of our chicken in the pan. Once we get it to about 140 degrees, 150 degree internal temperature, we will then proceed to get our marinara sauce on it and our cheese, and we'll finish it off another 10 minutes after that point. So stick around. We'll be back in a minute to finish this up. One of the key ingredients to chicken parmesan is the marinara sauce. Now, normally I would make my own, but for today, we have a special product that we want to unbox, and it was recently given to us by Neilio Vaz. He's the owner-operator of Meat Bar Marketplace in North Attleboro on Washington Street in North Attleboro. If you haven't been, I highly recommend you got to check them out. They got a full-service butcher shop, deli, tremendous prepared food, sandwiches. You got to take a ride down there and check them out, and you'll be glad you did. We recently had him on one of our Wise Guys BBQ podcasts where we did an interview. So if you haven't seen that, I highly recommend you check that out, and you can get a little bit more knowledge as to Neilio's background. But we're gonna open this up, and he provided us with a quart of his in-house homemade marinara sauce. Now I've already tried this a little bit. Tremendous tomato flavor with great seasonings, and we're gonna heat this up. This is what we're gonna be using to finish off our chicken parm today. So I'm just gonna remove this. I'm gonna get it into a pot so that we can get a little heat on it. All right, so we have this in the pot. We're just gonna get it heated up a little bit so it'll be ready for when we go outside to put the finishing touches to our chicken parm. See you outside in a minute. All right, folks, we've had our chicken on for 30 minutes. I did one rotation of 180 degrees while it was indirect cooking so that we get some even cooking. And then I moved it over to the direct flame to get that nice frying effect in the bottom so it can set up and get a nice crust. We're looking for about 150 degrees internal temperature. There we go. It might be a little bit more, but all right, so we're going to move this off the flame. And this is where we're going to apply our marinara sauce first. All right, I think we're good with that. We're not going to go too heavy. And then we want to apply our mozzarella cheese. We have a shredded mozzarella in this case. Slice will do just as well. Get a nice mound on top. All right, I think we're good with that. So at this point, we just want to close the lid and let that go for about another 5 or 10 minutes until that cheese begins to melt. Now, we're doing this on this Yoda pellet smoker, but you can do this very easily on a gas grill or a charcoal grill. You don't need a setup like this. If you're using a gas grill, which is highly effective just as well, you want to use that indirect cooking method. You're going to set up your grill. One side will have the flame, the other side will be off. And you just do your indirect cooking that way, where you do the majority of the cook indirectly, and then at the last minute, just slide it over to that where the open flame is, and you can get that crispiness on the bottom of the pan. So yeah, definitely a gas grill will work fine, or even a charcoal grill if you set up that indirect cooking method. All right, here we go. Our chicken parm is done. It's come up to the right temp. Our cheese is melted. We're gonna bring them inside. We're gonna put them under the broiler for about 5 minutes just to get some browning effect on top. And at that point, we'll be ready to plate these up. There we are, chicken parm on the grill. All right, we're taking this to the oven. It's gonna be under the broiler, and we're only gonna leave it on till it browns up. So don't walk away, stay with this, because that can happen pretty quickly. All right, this is literally in there for maybe a couple of minutes. So there we are, there we have it. That's our baked chicken parmesan. We did it on the Yoda smoker pellet grill, and we're about to plate it up and see what we have. Our chicken parmesan Wise Guys BBQ style is completed. So what we did, we presented it on a bed of a ziti rigate, which is a lined ziti. You could do any kind of pasta, anything will work, but this with the chicken parmesan pasta, it's a classic dish. Now I can't wait to dig into this because we did it on the Yoda pellet grill smoker. So now we have some grill smokiness added to this. And we also used our Alabama white sauce marinade. So we're introducing a lot of flavors with this dish that aren't with the classic chicken parmesan. Let's give it a shot. Get a piece of chicken here from the end. Wow, folks, let me tell you something. With the cast iron pan we use on the direct flame, it crisped up the bottom a little bit to give us that fried effect. We did not fry this. It's basically like an oven baked type of chicken parmesan, although we did it on the pellet smoker. This marinara sauce, Neelio Vaz, 2 thumbs up to you because this is outstanding. I would come to your shop and buy this tomorrow. Now, I want to get into this Alabama white sauce. It's not overpowering. Don't think that it's going to completely change your classic chicken parmesan flavor profile. It's actually adding a little dimension to it. And as far as I'm concerned, it's kicking it up. Folks, that's delicious. You got to try this. It took us about 2 hours from beginning to end with our prep and cook time. So it's actually something you can pull off weeknights. At any rate, you're going to love it. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching. This is Tommy the Butcher for Wise Guys BBQ. Hope to see you next time. And remember, 2 thumbs up, like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. See you next time.